30 years ago, I was eating a bowl of cold cereal and watching a bad movie when suddenly I was hit by lightning and bitten by a cobra. Ever since then, I've been traveling through time, finding the worst movies and the coldest cereal. I became the Cold Cereal Chronicler. What year is it? 2023. That would explain the Velocipastors. Welcome to the Bad Movie Cold Cereal Party. On this week's episode, we break down Kung Fury.
All right.
So,
What
Kung Fury.
So, Neil, how many times have you watched this movie?
Oh, I've seen this movie probably 20 times, if I'm going to be honest. I've shown it to a lot of people.
You forgot about the nice anime scene, huh?
Yeah, I did. I forget, like, there's scenes. Sometime, not today, but sometime I'll tell you, I've got this weird personalized Mandela effect concerning certain movies. I don't know why. And that's one of those scenes that just, I never remember it, even though I've seen that movie at least 20 times. So.
Okay, so let's kind of. Oh no! I spilled milk on my game mat.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's why I was like, I did the same thing earlier. I was like, son of a.
One thing I want to say, as far as this movie being good or bad, there were so many moments in this movie. I'm like, it just felt like the whole movie has been building up to this moment, and it kept happening. But the whole thing is over the top. So every scene is an attempt to out over the top the scene before it. And the most disappointing moment was like the final ending with Hitler and everything, or not the final, but the moment where they killed Hitler.
Oh, spoilers! Let's get to it first. Let's go.
You did the focus and zoom in on me, camera motion.
Hold on.
Okay.
Are we gonna do this in order? Or are we gonna knock out?
Yeah, I figured we'd do it in order.
That's fine. That's fine. I didn't even take notes because I've seen this movie so many times. I'm like, yeah.
I didn't take notes because.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. I thought those three bad guys at the beginning of the movie were going to be the main bad guys because he kick-flipped a cop car into a building.
That is movie. This movie is so front end loaded. Like, its comedy is so hard, goes so hard at the beginning.
They said we only got 30 minutes. Cram it full of content.
It's like the movie opened up with a city skyline and just a mushroom cloud in the background. I was like,
I didn't even notice. I'd have to. I forgot things.
I was like, okay, maybe this is gonna be the main plot point.
Nope.
This nuclear weapon going off in the city. Now the cop. First of all, so we get to they kick some random kids kick an arcade machine, and for some reason
that's what surprised me. Is I thought that was going to be like a cool, small, like interesting thing because they kick flip the car. All these things are. He's like fuck you, but that's the whole like opening to the movie. Like this big fight scene.
Yeah, before the arcade, it shows a bit where a guy's just listening to a boombox and some guy just comes up and shoots him to steal it.
Yeah.
They're trying to show you how bad Miami was in the 80s.
Is that where it was set, Miami?
Yeah, it's supposed to be set in Miami.
But
I must have missed that tagline.
And of all these bad things happening, that arcade machine was pretty bad. He was flipping everybody off and killing them. But like,
he's about to kill the dog.
It's just I didn't expect the arcade machine. I thought I was just
there was a flaming stroller.
The flaming stroller was, dude. The first time I saw the movie, I distinctly remember the first time I saw it. I actually had to pause it because I about fell on the floor laughing, peeing my pants when he jumps off the building and shoots the car to start it and open the door.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that scene. We open up to our hero. He is in an opioid den.
Is that where he was?
No. It's supposed to be like his dojo on top of a skyscraper.
Yep. Okay, I remember that now. Same thing.
His girlfriend comes in, and I don't know what she was doing.
I forgot much of this movie already. He had a girlfriend?
There was a woman in his house, and she was handing him something, and then the phone signal went off.
Yeah.
He's like, where are you going to go? He's like, my job.
What are you gonna do? My
You do
job.
a great Kung Fury impression, man.
I was like, oh, this is where Christian Bale got his voice
I'm
from.
Kung Fury.
Exactly. 6 years
Actually,
after the movie had already come
6
out.
years-
Yeah.
I just realized, maybe that's what the guy was imitating.
He
the-
reached into the future and was like, I'm gonna copy this guy's voice.
and
That
there's
makes
time travel in
sense
this movie.
why
He
the
hacked time.
why the CGI and stuff was so good, because I thought it was older, but it's fairly recent, so it's up to date modern
Yeah, I thought like
standards.
at least like 15 years ago or something. It's an 8-year-old movie, which is crazy because that's 2015.
Yeah, which I guess that is a while ago. We're just
Now there is supposed to be an actual feature-length movie coming out next month in November, supposedly.
We'll watch
That's
that.
Kung Fury 2, but nobody's seen any clips from it, so it makes me think it's probably not, because they've
It's
been
probably
saying
just a
that there's
hoax.
going to be they said there was going to be a sequel to it like years ago, and it just never has happened. But
I'll believe it when I see it, which I
Kinda,
will
yeah.
right here.
Right
My bad
here.
movie Cold Cereal Party.
So he, speaking of cereal, that was some nice golden grams.
Yeah,
That's a bowl.
I already done eating my bowl.
That's kind of bowl you would have in an opium dojo den up on top of a
I
skyscraper.
got spider webs on mine.
Oh, it's
though,
a
see?
square bowl. Nice square
Mine's a
bowl.
Halloween bowl.
I gotta go.
Mine's
get
square
We're watching
too.
a
Look
movie
at
called
that.
Kung Fu. I got my Asian bowl.
Kung Fury, Matt. Kung Fury.
Um, so he fights. He's fighting an arcade machine, and he kills it. And then we cut to him and his. No, did he talk about his backstory first?
Yeah, that's when he goes to his backstory. He talks about how he became Kung Fury because him and his partner were chasing that ninja.
Chasing just a random ninja. I mean, it's Miami.
It is
Crazy
Miami.
shit is happening. Nuclear weapons are going off. No one seems to notice.
He's like, you're like a father to me.
It's like, you're like a father to me.
Somehow he
they do
cut
this
that
hug.
guy in half, but didn't cut his tongue in half.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
his tongue
Just
like
like his
one
tongue when he peels out.
were they hugging when he died?
No. They were just doing the arm, the manly arm clasp thing. Yeah.
Okay, because he did not see that. He didn't see the guy come up with a sword
Yeah,
in that
clearly
peripheral
not.
vision. He's a Miami cop. He was a gun right there, right there. Speaking of which, he never used a gun, which is weird.
Who, his other cop or him?
Him.
He used a gun all the time. He used a gun on the Nazis.
Oh yeah, what am I thinking? That's
He
stupid.
used a gun on his own car.
I was gonna say he used a gun on his own car.
He started his car by shooting it. Yeah, I don't know why I just kind of blanked on that.
I was gonna say.
I think it was the Nazis who weren't using guns or something.
that's like a laser raptor having laser eyes and then using a gun. Like, why would you not use your superpower? He's Kung Fury.
So he costs the city of Miami. I'm going to harm
50
this nuclear
million.
weapon
$50 million.
that
damage.
went off. They're just ignoring. And it's his fault. He's like, you need a partner. And so the partner comes in, and
Well, hold
I
on.
was
He works
blown away.
He works alone. You
Yeah,
gotta remember that.
yeah, Kung Fury works alone.
I was blown away by his new partner. What was it? The Triceracop?
Triceracop.
That I was like, and that's when I realized this movie isn't serious.
That was the
You
moment.
think that was the moment?
Now the man falling from a skyscraper, shooting open a door
Well,
to
I
a
thought,
car,
you
and
know-
then landing safely inside.
I thought this was like some kind of YouTube movie where you got people who try to make that, like, you got Neil Breen who tries to make that shit seem for real. But when I saw a humanoid Triceratops walk in with a cop uniform, I was like, okay, this is
That was the most believable part to me up to that point.
That's just it. That seemed like the most realistic part of the movie.
okay. Like, kind of jump back to the first scene real quick. When he dropped his skateboard under that cop car, I thought he was going he's like pull a gun out and shoot him or something. He's like, I dare you to run over my skateboard or something. I didn't know where it was going. I did not expect a kickflip.
When he goes, you guys got permits for those guns? They're like, yeah, I got a permit right here. Throws the skateboard down.
Matt's like, what is the backstory to this world where they're able to kick
I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, who would have thought of this?
That's what I was thinking, because so much crazy shit happens, and I imagine they're like writing it, and there's like plethora of directions they could take it in absurdity, and they're just like probably
This is the one.
hit all of them. They're like, this is the best one, because that's what it.
I want
constantly seems
dinosaurs
like.
in my
and that
movie.
makes sense why it's constantly going in random directions as well.
Okay, so he quits. He doesn't want a partner. He works alone, so he quits being a cop.
He quits and he's walking out, and the chief gets a phone call. And he goes, "Hello, is this the cops?"
And then we see it's Hitler.
Oh yeah, that's when Hitler was.
He's like, "Are you the cops?" Yes. Fuck you. Just start
Starts
blasting.
shooting into the phone.
He killed like 2 guys.
I think he
At
killed
least.
more than that.
At
Did he kill
least.
the chief?
He did. Well, I assume he killed the
Oh,
chief because you
yeah.
don't see the chief again.
The first
And
one. That was the
the-
first one that shot.
Yeah,
the
and there's
chief.
2 or 3 cops that are standing near Kung Fury that die. I'm pretty sure almost instantly.
Yeah,
and then
Kung Fury pulls out.
Then
his
Kung Fury
gun.
pulls out his gun and shoots the phone.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think he wasn't using guns. I forgot he
He's
killed
good all the
phone.
time.
It's you have such specific memory about things. And he
Well, I
was
like that he's like, I need somebody to trace that call.
Yeah.
Well, no, the other cops are like, you can't trace that call. And then Hacker Man shows up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's like, I can.
I can.
Hacker Man is a scrawny, he looks like a millennial does these days. Long hair, long slingback hair, pencil mustache, big
Yeah,
aviator glasses.
I want to say, I think Hackerman. It's obvious he's the most important secondary character in the whole movie.
I think so too.
I think
Without
so.
him, none of this would have happened.
So
Because
I
he
need to
hacks
talk about
time.
this. Yeah. So they go back to Hackerman's lair, and he's like, "It was hit." They trace the phone call, and they find out somehow it was Hitler on the other line. And he's like, Hitler, he was a famous kung fu master in 1940s.
Well, that's the best part when Hacker Man goes, "You've heard of this guy?"
He's like, he's the most famous criminal.
Like nobody else has heard of Hitler except for Kung Fury.
I don't think Hitler committed the atrocities he did in this universe.
Yeah.
But
All the
So-
craziness going. Oh, well, see, that's what it is. It's just the atrocity he created aren't so bad in the grand scheme of what this world has said.
What this world has done.
there's a lot of terrible things going on in this world.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd forgotten the chief dropping the F-bomb on it. Well, the
Oh,
other
yeah.
type of F-bomb on
The
Kung
other
Fury. I was like,
F-bomb.
jeez.
This was in 2015.
I guess so.
Things
I
were
guess
different.
so. I was like, woo. I mean, anyway,
Um,
yeah. So he hacks time.
Well, I want
Okay,
to
hold on.
address something real quick.
Go ahead.
Hitler is in present day now. He is killing cops.
He's killing cops corrupted
Why is he's like, you know what? Let me go back in time.
because he's gonna stop Hitler.
Stop him from doing what?
From ever existing.
I guess
this is
that's
the
what I
whole problem
assume
of
is
the
supposed
movie.
to be the
Why is
idea.
he
Yeah.
going
Again,
back
it's
in
it's
time?
the age-old go back in time to kill Hitler before he does Hitler stuff.
Okay, so that's my only problem with the movie. Hitler's there now.
I
You
was
can
gonna say,
stop him
could've
now.
just gone out and stopped him out. Yeah.
But if you go back in time, you stop him from ever getting there.
Supposedly,
alive.
except that actually so we can't jump ahead. I don't want to spoiler alert.
So
But-
so Hacker Man puts on the power glove
It's
and
the-
hacks time.
The Nintendo Power Glove.
So
But everybody knows there's just one big issue when you're risking hacking time is you could hack too much time.
Exactly. Hack too much.
That's the
time.
risk.
and the keyboard goes far. Well,
He was
first of all,
surfing on a
Yeah,
keyboard.
he's surfing on a keyboard.
to a synth wave through your normal synth wave background that's always drifted. And Hackerman gets a notification that he's hacking too much time, and the portal collapses, and our hero finds himself in Viking times.
How do we
That's
know
what
it's
they call it.
Viking?
First, he finds himself faced with a laser raptor.
Oh yeah, can't forget the laser raptor.
That's how we knew we went too far back in time. Or was it whenever
No, it's
Barbariana?
No, it's when Barbariana showed up on the wolf with the Gatling gun.
That's my favorite. Is him saying, "What time is it? Viking time."
He's Viking time. He goes, that would explain the laser raptors.
Fuck! I went too far back.
Fucking
He's
nails
just got a
the horseman.
minigun just hanging out on top of Fenrir the wolf. I was like, yes.
And
Yeah, they never said it was Fenrir, but that's
I know, that's who it
obviously
was,
Fenrir,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be.
they said, all right, she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I went back in time to stop Hitler. I'm a cop. I went too far back.
She doesn't question any of
Doesn't
it.
blink an eye.
And then Matt's like, "That's my second plot hole. First of all, why go back in time to kill Hitler? Second of all, why didn't he explain what a cop was? How did she know?
How does she know
In
what a
Viking
cop
time,
is?
what a cop is?
they didn't. I mean, they had enforcers, but they didn't have cops. And it's just like, what's a cop?
You know, I was laughing about that. So when they introduced whatever that thing is, that Matt's like, oh, they explained this. I don't know what that was. I missed all of that.
What? Oh,
It was-
the phone.
okay. So she tells him, "Hey, go find my friend. She can tell you how to get back or whatever." He turns around. There she is.
Yeah.
I think she's a porn star. I'm not 100%.
She looks like she could be.
She
We
could
can,
be.
that,
I mean,
that'll
who
be the
knows?
next bad movie we watch.
They ride a T-Rex
Right. T-Rex.
Through-
Yeah.
through the Viking time land.
That was Finn Rex.
And then they don't talk at all. They don't talk about anything. They just stop on a rock. And then she asks him, where's he going? They're traveling together this whole time on the T-Rex.
She's like, where are we going? Where's it going?
Where are you going?
I do like these subtle, ridiculous details you're picking up on. I didn't
Well,
even
so
catch
then,
that.
but to your point from earlier, then he goes, well, I need to go back to Nazi Germany and kill Hitler. Again, she doesn't blink an eye. She's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, once you meet Thor and his ability to throw somebody back in time without him even really clearly asking.
Well, let's talk about Thor, though.
So this new girl, Katana, her name is Katana. Jesus, Katana calls Thor, and here comes this giant shirtless, pantsless man in a loincloth. He's ripped. He's an old guy. He's ripped. Got a long beard, big old. I'll post a clip. You can see it.
Hold on.
I'm sitting there explaining.
We'll get
It's
to it.
ridiculous. And he's like, "Look at my pecs," and they cave in.
He's like
It looks-
flexing them.
And
They're
he
deflating
flexes them even as he's talking.
out the side of his mouth.
And he's talking out the side of his mouth, and he raises his arm up to show off his muscles, and his hammer hits his helmet and knocks it askew. Just a little bit. And I'm sure that's done for comedy, but I don't know if it is or not because I don't know what this movie is at this point.
No, you already knew it was comedy. The moment, what was it? When you saw Triceracop. You
Oh
knew
yeah,
it was
when I saw
comedy.
trucks, I
Is that
didn't know.
You'd already
I didn't
figured it
know
out.
if that was intentional.
I don't think it was because it looks so funny when it's like, ding.
No, I
So he-
disagree. I think everything, and that's
In
what's
this
great
movie.
about a movie like this. Everything like is planned. All the little nuance and just dumb bad things that are happening. It's like Tim and Eric Awesome show, like or Eric Andre, like this awkward comedy, weird stuff. They do this. It's very planned, and I think it's great when people are able to. It's not easy to be bad on purpose.
No,
No,
I agree with
so
that.
I mean, if this was all intentional, I can't wait to see two.
It
So,
won't be this good. There's no way.
No, there's no way. You
so
can't.
he explains to Thor what he's doing. He's going to go fight Hitler in Nazi Germany, and he's a cop. And
He like cuts him off and just makes a portal.
yeah, Thor's like, "Hey, I got you, man." And oh wait, he said epic pecs, and Thor goes,
Yeah.
"Thanks, bro."
Thanks, bro.
Opens a portal, and he's walking towards the portal, and he's like looking, and he's like all serious, and the girls walk up behind him, and she's like, "Where will you go?" I was like, "Well, he just opened a fucking portal." And then he just
It's
turns
one of the
around.
things they question.
He just turns around and gives her his phone number. Now,
I missed that.
these girls have been shooting
Gatling
fucking
guns.
machine guns. So I figured, what is it? They of course they have phones that they have these type of guns, but nope.
He has to give the cell
He turns
phone.
around and there's a fucking 30-second commercial about this dimensional phone that can call through space. I'm sitting here going, they want to explain anything else, but they'll explain this for 30 seconds.
It is. There's literally an infomercial.
And then he hops to the portal, and then the movie kind of, that was the last great part for me is when he just turns around and gives her a phone.
Yeah, I would say it definitely goes downhill after that. There's still some good moments.
Well, the Germans talking about their mustaches was
That
good.
was good.
That was funny.
The
He's like, "You got a piece of shit mustache." There.
for me, it started getting like it's already over the top and try hard, but like the shooting them in the dicks, like. But I guess it's kind of like that Family Guy bit where Peter hurts his knee and he goes,
Right, and it just
Like,
goes
it-
on and
it's-
on and on.
It's at first it's like haha, and then you're like, okay, this is terrible. It goes on so long it becomes funny
It
again.
becomes funny.
and that kind of happened.
It never got funny again.
The dick shooting. The one time it got funny again was when the guy's holding it, he shoots him in the arms.
Shoots
and
him
he's
both
like,
arms.
in his arms, and it works, and then he can shoot him in the dick.
He's like, he went up
Like
to
the
that.
bullet
All
went
right,
into
so
his hands.
he comes out to the portal, and he's just in the middle of Nazi rally. I don't know if we should be bleeping Nazi. I think YouTube might get onto us for that.
Yeah,
But,
I was gonna say,
but I mean, this movie has Nazis in it, man. I don't know what
It
you wanted to
does.
say.
Nazis are
Fascist.
getting shot in the dick, so
yeah.
I don't see how that's a bad thing. Very anti-Nazi movie.
Yeah, it is very anti-Nazi. So he just starts. It's Tommy, you said it was like almost like a Mortal Kombat scene where he was just it was like a 2D. He was just fighting, and in the background you have all these like other Nazis
remind me
not
of,
doing
like,
anything.
I'm trying to think. Like, I know you remember Neil. Like, what's the? It's like something dragon, double dragon.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Those kind of games is what it was really reminding me of.
it legitimately what it looked like to me was it looked like an old Final Fight game, like where it didn't quite have because Double Dragon still kind of had the 3D elements to it.
Mhm.
But like there were some of those earlier games, like the original Final Fights and stuff, that were side scrollers technically. That you couldn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like you basically were on one plane, and so
people are coming from both
right,
directions.
or the
okay.
original Kung Fu or whatever that video game was back in the arcades way back in the day. But yeah, it was basically just him. What's funny to me is like, because I've seen this movie so many times, I'm watching the dudes in the background, and the guys, it's all just AI generated, right? Like it's all computer generated just to be like a repeat of everything over and over again.
Yeah.
But like some of the guys are doing the most ridiculous stuff, like they're covering their ears and they walk a few feet, and then they like go like this, and they turn around, and it's like.
Hey, I didn't even notice the loop.
Oh yeah, it's a loop, and it's just the stupidest crap going on in the background.
I wasn't really paying attention to them. Like, Tom said something was like they're all just moving around the background. I was like, yeah, I can see him kind of moving. Then I went back to what he was doing. But he bicycle kicked the guy all the way around.
But a lot of like because there it seems like there's so many different inspirations for this movie throughout watching it. Obviously, just 80s like pop culture, like.
The music was pretty fire, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that music is pretty good.
Music slap, huh?
So I do wonder. Number one, that main actor, was he an actor hired for this movie, or was he somebody that helped create it?
His name was David
Everybody.
Sandberg.
Who was a
Yeah.
person that just came in and auditioned for this and got the role?
They got this role.
And they're like, what the? And they don't get it. I want to know who the person is that don't get it, but they did it. You know what I mean? There's got to be at least one of them.
I mean,
I think that's
David Sandberg
supposedly in some of the lore. Supposedly they tried to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to be Thor. Evidently, that is a rumor that these guys went to Arnold Schwarzenegger with this like thing, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that, bro."
No.
And then they got this other guy that was just an old bodybuilder guy.
The guy they got was perfect. Talking about.
Well, I was going to bring it up later when it got to it, but since you brought that up, David Hasselhoff, it has him listed in the credit as Hoff 9000. So is that actually him, or was it like a?
I would believe it because freaking he was in freaking the SpongeBob movie. And so, sorry, my dog's
It's a
shaking
little
her
bit
head.
different than a SpongeBob movie.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you're right, but it's also Dave. This is post David Hasselhoff on the ground eating a cheeseburger in his dining room, so he's probably doing whatever the hell somebody else.
He was in the movie.
Yeah, that's what it has him listed as, at least.
No, like I'm looking at the IMDb, and he was in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
it actually was him.
Yeah, see, that's what
That's
I'm saying.
crazy.
Because those weren't lines from Knight Rider. Because that in this case he's the car instead of Knight Rider being the car, like Git
which is
being the
great.
car. So those weren't like repurposed lines. That was him having to have recorded that, assuming that was his voice, which I was pretty sure.
Okay,
was,
so Sandberg, David Sandberg, who was the main actor, also produced the movie.
I was gonna say he's one of the dudes that was part of funding this thing, right?
Blood. He did another movie called Blood Machines, and Hitler just tired of it.
Yeah, he's just done with
Finally brings out the big gun, a gun, and starts shooting. So he kills. He kills our hero, Kung Fury.
Hard to remember that name. All the shit you remember. Can't remember the name of the fucking movie.
I just call him our hero.
Our hero.
So he's down. He's got shot in the chest by with two shots by the Gatling gun. And then the Avengers moment happens. Bum,
Dun,
bum,
dun,
bum,
dun,
bum, bum.
dun.
We get a big T-Rex, Thor, the two women from Viking times.
2 women. They don't have a name. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Barbariana.
Barbarian and Katana. What's his Hackerman is there, and he
Yep,
turns into,
Hackerman's there.
he turns into a
I like how you turn it into a real name. Hackerman. You know,
Hackerman.
Hackerman.
and then Triceracop is there too.
Yes, he
Just-
is.
He didn't have a single line.
What they missed a moment. They should have had Chief come back in spirit. Like have a spirit form of the Chief there.
Yep.
I'm not going to
So-
tell them what they should have did. They did a great job.
So the big battle happens. They kill all the Nazis except Hitler, and then Hitler's like, you know what? I got this big golden eagle right here. So the eagle comes down. The fight with the T-Rex was pretty cool at the start, and then when it turns into is pretty funny. It's like the eagle's on its back kicking him,
Yeah.
kicking the T-Rex.
This T-Rex is like,
Kung Fury is in a dream sequence where he turns into a cartoon. He's an anime cartoon.
Yeah, like an old 80s like
Yeah.
style cartoon.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me. I don't know why I kept saying anime. How would y'all explain that?
he meets Cobra. He's supposedly in heaven, and then he goes. The Cobra guy goes, "You're in heaven," and he goes, "Oh, it looks so real."
I just
and then Cobra looked at the camera. That was a nice breaking of
Like-
the.
Well, he's like, "Hey, take me back. You're obstructing justice."
Oh, that
so
was
I'm gonna
great. Where he's
arrest
like,
you.
"I'm a cop. You're under arrest over obstructing justice." Did anybody notice like Cobra looked like he had legs? The way his coil.
Yeah, his
It looked like he was
humps were-
sitting with legs. I don't know. It was really weird.
Well, and
Um,
all that stuff was ripoff. That whole cartoon, like the helicopter coming out of the car, looked like either Transformers or GoBots. It really looked more like GoBots than it did Transformers. The freaking the Cobra was right on one of those battle wagon things that He-Man used to use. I mean,
Mhm.
like there's all these like little stolen pieces of like
Yeah.
80s cartoons.
yeah, but
in
it
that
was
cartoon.
original. It was original art.
I mean, it was all it wasn't like it was
It's
strictly copied. It was just the style of all these things was very
Oh, yeah.
evident.
Which is fine for what the movie is trying to be. It's trying to be an '80s movie.
It was, and it was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just now figured out I have a problem with this movie.
Just now you figured out you
Is
have a
it, this
problem.
movie is like what Ready Player One was doing. It's just referencing 80s pop culture.
He
Kinda, yeah.
he quit. He gave up his badge.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at the sign. Yeah, with the chief.
Yeah.
And then he still calls himself a cop the whole time.
I'm a cop.
Well, he had a badge too when he was.
He
in
still had his
heaven.
badge. That's right. When he was
When he
getting
was dead, but he didn't
Yeah.
have a badge when he was out in the past.
That lets you know that once a cop, always a cop. Doesn't matter if you throw away your badge. You're always still a cop right here. And so when you're dead, you still got your badge.
you still got your
Solid
badge.
blue line. So he Hackerman hacked all his bullets away.
Yeah, he said that.
All his bullet wounds.
What I think
What'd he say?
it
He
was
said
a
he
life
hacked
hack.
away his bullet wounds.
He hacked away his bullet.
It was a life hack.
So I'm thinking that they live in a simulation.
That's
in
what
their
you're
world-
thinking.
That
This is
in
the
their world,
Matrix,
they believe-
really, right?
Yeah, this is all a video game. This is player one, the other side. And
That is a good take on it. Like it's just like a simulated world video game. It's like what's that movie Guy or something like that with Ryan Reynolds. But like the main character. is
Oh
Kung
yeah,
Fury.
free
You're the
guy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The main character is Kung Fury being controlled by a kid through this game. That makes a
Right.
lot of sense.
What was that one movie where Jason Statham was like
Gamer.
Gamer.
Or
Gamer
that,
No,
wasn't
that was that Jason Statham though. That was
Leonidas, Gerard Butler.
yeah, that was Gerard
Gerard
Butler.
Butler. And wasn't there another one? Like, no,
I'm sure there's been a dozen of
like
them.
Death Race or something like that.
Death Race.
Yeah, that was supposed to be.
We need to
like-
get the original Death Race 2000 on here.
I know
It's got Sylvester Stallone back in his porn days.
From my understanding, Death Race was supposed to be like Twisted Metal, the movie, sort of. Or that's what I remember hearing somewhere.
Didn't they make a Twisted Metal movie?
Well, they
think
did
that
make
was
a
Death
Twisted Metal
Race.
TV series. No, there is an original movie from like 70. 2 or 3. It's early. It's Death Race 2000, and it's got Sylvester Stallone before he was Sylvester Stallone as like just this dude that's one of the Death Racers and a bunch of other people. It is so stupid, and like, yeah, it would be another one that would be good for this channel.
Hey, we gotta make content.
And
so-
that's
Yo,
another-
there's plenty of content, I promise you.
That's another point to like the bad acting and why it's intentional, because those 80s movies and TV shows, like that's all it was. But they were doing it on purpose.
Oh, the ADR stuff that you mentioned while we were watching it is actually hilarious. I also, that's one of the other pieces of it that I kind of forget every time, is how ridiculous, because it feels like it gets almost worse as it goes along. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of early on, it's almost on, and then like the longer you go, it kind of gets a little bit more off each time. Anyway.
So,
and I can only assume every decision moves completely intentional. So if that's the way it seems, then they did it on purpose.
So Thor kills Hitler, or tries to. His bird saves him. Well,
Yeah.
we think they're dead because they're like the Triceratops is like.
Well, yeah,
He has a
but
British
it's
accent
such
for
an
some reason.
obvious, like, there's not even a gold dent in the bottom of the pit that he makes with his hammer. It's like
Not
clearly
even a
you got
trace.
warped away. See, here's my conspiracy theory: Thor intentionally sends him back to the future.
Why?
Just saying. His hammer
Thor,
got all sparkly.
Thor knew
Yeah, he does have that
about
power.
Nazi Germany.
Yeah, see,
He
just
knew
saying.
about everything.
So Thor's plan. This was going to happen in the second movie. It was Thor's plan to send him to the future. Why?
To try,
Why though?
because Thor wants to be
Exactly why.
Kung
Why would
Fury.
he go back in time?
Thor
He's the
wants
reason
to
Hitler's
become
in the
Kung Fury,
present
but
to begin with.
The only way that Kung Fury or Thor can become Kung Fury is if Kung Fury is defeated, and the only way
Exactly.
to defeat Kung Fury is with Kung Fuhrer.
Fuhrer, exactly, Kung Fuhrer.
Did
that
that
was so
disappoint
bad.
y'all at all? They kind of hyped up Hitler as being this other kung fu master.
Yeah,
He was just such a turd the whole
he
time.
said we have cool moves.
we
Dude,
do moves like whatcha.
I strongly believe, even though I think it was established before this movie, that Mac's karate moves were based off of Hitler's from It's Always Sunny, because it shows him like in a scene, like in the background, like doing this, and it's like very reminiscent of the way Mac does his karate. But I think that predates this
But
movie.
Probably.
so the movie opens back up. It's 2 days ago. He's fighting the machine again,
He's
the
yelling at
arcade machine.
And, no. First, he's yelling at Hoff.
Dave, well, yeah, he's yelling
Open
at
the
Hoff
door.
9000 to go so he can go fight
And
the
that
machine.
that scene just goes on forever. Hey, can you open the
That
doors?
went a long
No.
time.
Sorry, I cannot. See what they did? They got him to record that one line. Sorry, I cannot open the doors, and they just
She stood over
kept playing
it.
over and over and over.
We're gonna get our money's worth.
Yeah, so that's what
Maybe
that
that's
scene
why
was.
it's Hoff 9000. It costs $9,000 to get to be in this
$9,000
movie.
to rent Hoff.
Oh wait, he had 2 lines. Didn't I ever tell you to not mess with the Hofster?
Yeah, he does say a secondary line.
He's like, God damn it, Hoff.
So anyway, they fight. He shoots the arcade machine, and then he notices the swastika on the side of it, and he's like, "I've seen this somewhere before."
That's what I didn't get. So, is this version of Kung Fury? Did he come back from the past? Yeah.
I don't think they don't. Clearly, they don't explain it, and I don't think it matters. Honestly, I think the shtick there is that he's recognizing it now versus the way that he didn't recognize it the first time through. Because technically speaking, him and the fight that he has with the captain don't necessarily, like, remember how they showed that dude dropping the radio the first time around? Or they didn't even really show him dropping it. I don't know if they did, but you just see the radio there, and then you see the sparks coming, but then nothing ever happens. You don't see that it's Hitler arriving. Then the second time they play it, he now recognizes the Nazi symbol, and that's when he goes, Hitler's here, or whatever, and it's like, so I think they're trying to show that there is a difference, but
It almost seems like it's being played like he went back to 2 days ago in the future. And he just went back into his old body, but he has the memories from the times he was in the past.
I don't even know.
We
They
should
don't
make
explain
videos
it, and
about
it's probably not supposed to be explained. If we're gonna be
They'll
honest.
explain it in the second
What
one.
they're telling us is, don't think that hard about it.
I feel like this is the kind of movie that when they make a sequel, they're going to explain all the problems in the first one.
Hey, remember all those?
Hey, remember all
uh,
that stuff that happened in the first one?
Remember all those potholes? They're getting filled right now.
They're gonna go back in time, but it's gonna be further back in time before the barbarian lady met him, and he's
Yes.
gonna see her for the first time. She's like, "What are you?" And he's like, "I'm a cop." She's like, "What is that?" And he explains it. So that'll be
That's all I
why
want.
she
I just
knew
want
what he was.
them to know what a cop is.
There you go.
It was pissing me
That's
off.
why they all have guns. That's why they all have guns back in Viking times.
I'd love for him to say, "How do you know what a cop is?" She goes, "My father was a cop."
That would have been fun.
I just wanted to say, "Do you know what a cop is?" And she'd be like, "Yeah."
I can
I got it.
context clues.
Yeah. Context. I was I'm a cop. Got sent back in time. She's just okay with it.
He's not even dressed like a cop either.
Was she supposed to be a
Dude in
god?
street clothes.
Were they supposed to be goddesses?
I don't think so. I mean, they're dealing with gods, but
They're
I don't think they were supposed to be
Probably
like
like
part of the
what are they
Parthenon.
called? What are the angels of
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie?
Yeah, Valkyries. Yeah, that's what
something
they're
like that
supposed to be,
maybe.
Valkyries.
I mean, she's
Yeah,
right
okay,
fit
if
there,
they
most
were
likely.
Valkyries, then they probably know all this kind of stuff. Because I'm okay with Thor
yeah,
knowing
yeah, Valkyries,
because he's a god.
Valkyries know what cops are.
There you go.
Valkyries know what cops are. Okay, they know what a fucking telephone is. Apparently not. They had to have a 30-second goddamn commercial about it.
They know about the future, but not everything.
No, everything about the future.
And to
I
be
just-
fair,
I
did you know about that dimensional time phone? You know,
It's like we got to make sure we explain how she can call him.
Okay,
Which,
gentlemen.
he had a girlfriend, so why was he giving out his number anyway? Obviously, the 80s,
I
I
don't-
guess,
maybe
man.
that's his girlfriend. Maybe we weren't paying attention
Maybe.
closely enough.
Let me see. Does she have a credit somewhere?
Probably. So something we didn't discuss earlier, but I would like to discuss is I think we should rate the movies based on a serial like scale. Like, what's the worst cereal you can imagine versus what's the best cereal you can imagine? You know what I'm saying?
but
Okay,
everybody's gonna have
my
such
worst cereal is
wildly-
Fruit Loops.
No, not Fruit
Yeah,
Loops.
I can agree with that.
It's got to be like
Sucks.
grape nuts or something. Like
Nah, Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops is the worst cereal.
Maltameal. Fruit Loops is our star.
Fruit Loops is your star.
Yeah.
Your star is misguided. Now, Fruit Loops, I understand that Fruit Loops is kind of like the what's the I want to say generic, but like the main one. Like whenever you think of a bowl of cereal, you think of something like Fruit Loops, but they're nothing special.
Yeah. Fruity Pebbles now.
Fruit Pebbles.
There's some good
Fruit
stuff.
Pebbles is one of the best cereals.
Hey, Cocoa Pebbles, man, those things that makes your milk solid right there.
Well, I'll say Fruit Loops. I do kind of agree because I think Apple Jacks is terrible.
Yeah,
Me
Apple
too.
Jacks is not a good cereal. I agree with that.
I like Apple Jacks
100%.
better than Fruit Loops.
I do have Apple Jacks back here though. Just saying.
I know that's. I'm
Another
like looking at yours and
I
I'm
wanna
just like,
say-
what is?
I
I
remember
never
when
had
Apple
Chex
Jacks
cereal.
added in the green one.
There you go. I remember that too.
Game changer.
And they started talking about cinnamon instead of just apples.
Oh yeah, cinnamon.
The Jamaican cinnamon guy.
Jamaican cinnamon
Where's-
stick.
Racist ass fucking cereal.
So anyway, how would you guys rate your viewing of Kung Fury?
It's really hard because
Because we have nothing to compare it to. Right
it's
now.
bad. It's because it's bad intentionally, and it does a great job at that. But it does. It's so weird because the reason things are funny is because they're bad, but they're bad intentional. So it's like, I don't know. Like these bad movies are funny because they're not doing it on purpose. So when
Right.
you're doing it on purpose, it's not a bad movie. It's exactly what they wanted it to be. So it's a perfect movie in that sense. Like they nailed it. If that makes any sense. It's
No,
like
I
weird,
agree.
it doesn't make sense.
To me, it's a solid like 8 out of 10. Like it is funny. It is rewatchable. It's only half an hour. It's not perfect. Well, maybe even a 7.5. The ending is what kills it for me. The last 10 minutes,
Yeah.
if they had cut the last 10 minutes off, I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I think the last bit of that movie, they kind of just like, all right, we got to close this thing up. So
That fight scene was great, but kind of everything, the Nazi Germany fight scene, and then it kind of gets from that point. It's not that great. The
yeah, because
Hacker
it
Man
did
coming
get
in's good.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean the whole
Yeah.
movie's ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
But
but it, like when you open up with Miami, the way it opened
Yeah.
up with, I was expecting something like that near the end.
Well, that's my point. Is like it's so crazy and over the top, and it gets to this point, and it's just not as good as all these small moments from before. And so it built up, and it's a big letdown. But again, I think they did it on purpose. I don't
Well,
know.
like, this is my other thing that I kind of wanted to bring up. those three guys at the beginning, the skateboard guy. How come no one else had superpowers besides Kung Fury?
Well, they clearly did.
Yeah, exactly. They had superpowers.
It seems I think everybody kind of did.
I mean, maybe the Triceracop,
Well, I mean,
but everybody else was
even
kind of like normal.
Even the arcade machines had superpowers.
That was a robot. I mean, Hackerman, I guess. But like, I thought, like, because
There's the haves and the have-nots when it comes to Kung Fury.
yeah, because those people, they didn't play a significant role at all after that.
they just blew up a cop car and called
I
it
was
a
like,
day.
We're just not going to talk about that anymore, are we? Okay. But I would give this movie,
No, I think 7's fair.
I'll give it 6.5 because that
Okay.
Andy really did kill it for me.
Yeah, I'll do 7. Same for the same reasons Dill said, because it's great. Like, it's definitely fun. It's funny. I laugh more at that than I have at a lot of comedies. I think visually it's amazing. I think it accomplished everything it set out to do, and it's right there on the perfect line of intentionally bad as far as the visuals of it goes. I don't know how to explain it. It's great.
I'd give it a trick cereal.
Tricks.
Give it a
Trix
trick
is good.
cereal.
I can deal with that.
That was exactly what Tom's eating.
Let's see.
No, we'll figure out a scale. We'll figure out a scale. There's I would really like to post like the quote unquote like the supposed like whatever you want to call them bylaws of the original Bad Cereal Cold Movie Party, or Bad Movie Cold Cereal Party, so that people could like hold these on their own. Like that's the idea, viewer. This is what we want. We want to share you. Not only do we want to do that, we want you to tell us what movies we should be watching. Okay. We know what we're going to be watching. I've got some suggestions for these guys that they've never touched. I promise you that. Because I have seen some truly god-awful movies. But we want your suggestions because I think you guys can even stump me. I have not watched every bad movie out there yet. I'm getting close, but I haven't watched them all. So hook us up, folks. Like, share, and subscribe, that whole 9 yards. But mostly just watch us laugh and goof around and see these movies, especially some of these guys for the first time. And join with us. We want you to watch these movies too. We want you to come here and see what our commentary is about it. This is what we're doing it for, is to share it with you folks. So
I thought I was doing it so I just used to eat cereal.
listen.
And...
You son of a bitch.
I'm lactose intolerant.
I'm
just sitting here
I am
drinking milk.
lactose intolerant. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Bad Movie Cold Cereal Party. If you had fun, if you enjoyed this experience, we hope you'll subscribe to the channel. We hope you'll hit that notification bell. We hope that you'll leave some comments and recommend some bad movies for us to watch in the future. Again, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We hope you had a good time, and we'll see you again soon.